I know, it's been a while. And to my few subscribers, I'm sorry for the wait. Thank you for sticking around. I've been kinda occupied with life things, but I also started to feel weirdly resentful about this project. The amount of work needed to even get it to a presentable stage is daunting. And I'm starting to exhaust my parts collection. A limitation, I'd like to add, that served my creativity enormously. But enough foreplay. Let's just quickly have a look at what I've managed to build before I get the tram going. First off, the awkward angle I created with the small tower is now equalized with another tower and accompanying cliffs. And a little tip, to make natural stuff look good, just start with a natural base, not something that follows the edge of a plate or a burb. And also, look at the lot of rocks. Turns out there's mountains of them. I started with this weird base that fills the gap between two streets and caps off the lower row of houses. A small spring running clear alpine water, a set of stairs indicating where a defensive wall might have once been, and some colourful rock-clinging plant break up the grey monotony. The tower itself was no struggle. What made me lose my nerves with this thing was its roof. But once it all came together and I set it in its place, the gratification was the reminder I needed to keep going. But now, I'm not only running out of dark grey, but also all these mostly newer, more interesting colours I'd need to keep this vivid town growing. I've even built a whole facade by covering it with tiles and smaller plate, and the result is really something. Also, I finally found a way to use these cool elements for a detailed terrace. Another building with a cool colour which I've now run out of is this complex and also quite tall one. And with this one, there's even a bit of interior, but nothing to show yet. Maybe the lady radio, sunbathing on top of a small laboratory, and another mysterious shield give a hint. The old tower from episode 4 will be repurposed as a gatehouse. But I'd lose the ground floor, so I built a completely fresh house for it. With new purple windows and some other great details, it's turned into one of my favorites. I've still got a few unfinished designs, but as I mentioned, I need a new infusion of bricks, especially more colors. Until then, let's finally get the tram going and have a look at the whole city. I'm blessed to have the best system LEGO ever produced. Plug it in and turn on the current. No infrared sensors or Bluetooth crap. And the motors take up very little space, compared to bulky battery boxes. While you can feast your eyes on these lovely clips, I'll quickly talk about the future. I intend on keeping this project going. Plans for a big layout exist, but it will take a lot of time and a lot of bricks. So, while you will see the city again, I'd also like to stretch my creativity into other projects, maybe even other types of videos. I've got a shit ton of opinions I'd like to share in a creative way, perhaps a bit slugger-like. Maybe a retrospective on my favorite childhood themes, although you might have already guessed where my loyalties lie. And if a set deserves it, I might even review it. But don't worry, this will never turn into a review channel. The focus will always be on my mocks and accompanying brilliant building techniques. The next video might have to wait a little bit though, but you know, that's barely noteworthy with my super regular upload schedule. Until next time, stay healthy, creative, and maybe take a break yourself.